Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. So the following is going to be my thoughts immediately after my first Othercide playthrough was complete, and I will expand on them a little bit when it's done. Things that I don't like. The bugs. This is one of the buggiest tactics games, one of the buggiest games I've played in a while. And not even like my one. There's some bad ones in this one. So you can't ignore those. The interface. The interface I feel like could use a little work. Any game I need to fix. I knew this one was coming. I could feel how loose it was, like it wasn't really holding. This is funny. Am I gonna have to hold this? Oh, this is hilarious. I'm gonna have to hold this like friggin' Johnny Carson stuff because it just fucking broke. Oh, that's just hilarious. Oh my god, that's awesome. I do have a backup stand that I will have to set up for Gloomhaven because I can't hold, but I'm gonna go ahead and hold this. Look at me. I'm gonna hold this like a friggin' like a stand-up comic. So I liked. Okay. We talked about the bugs. I got distracted. My shit's breaking. Look at this. Friggin' suffering broke my mic stand. Oh, like I said, little things about the interface really bug me. Like the fact that like the scroll bars are so absolutely tiny, and sometimes I feel like you would grab them. I mean, you saw it just a minute ago. If you watched the video on stream, you grab it and it doesn't move. That gets really annoying. Um, I don't like. You know, I don't like the fact that like that you can't see memories at all times with the daughters. That's such an oversight. Like when you've got so many daughters and they all have all those different abilities, and it just you can't keep a track. The only way you could keep track of it with this game is if you bothered to set it up, like set up a spreadsheet. And if you hit that point, in my opinion, it's just you need to add more. 100 professional streamer here. Let's go. Yep. I know what I'm doing, y'all. I swear. This is fixable. I'm not gonna do it now. I'll probably just swap it out with my other stand. We'll see. Um, may have to. So anyway, so that's out of the way. The ending. I'd be lying if I said I was completely satisfied with. It's not as steep a cliff as Shady Part of Me was. Shady Part of Me, I remember I felt like I just got dropped over the edge of the cliff. This was like I got gently rolled down the edge of the cliff. Like I would have liked to have seen a little more. It would have been nice, but it's fine. I don't dislike it. Let's talk about what I did like. Um, I like the fact that this is the first tactics game I played in a long time where I've really felt like every decision that I made mattered, and in a good way. It didn't really feel very puzzle-like to me either. It definitely felt like a tactics game. Like there were only a couple of fights where I felt like I would have to kind of, you know, where I felt like I was limited to certain abilities or certain tactics. I like that. I do kind of wish it was a little better balanced. Like towards the end, I think out of all of them, and tell me if you agree, Carbini. The only fight that I can think of where you were decent in having, well, what's a good way to phrase this? Where you were better off bringing a shield bearer than not bringing a shield bearer that I can remember would be the Deacon fight. That's the only one where I felt like you were really better off if you brought one. I can't think of another fight where it's like, man, I really wish I had a shield bearer right now. I think that was the only one. The Scythe Dancer in general also felt a little underpowered to me at times. Maybe I didn't use her correctly. That's fair enough. That's basically that's essentially it. I've really enjoyed it, man. Every decision from in combat to out of combat, I can't emphasize that enough. Every single decision felt like it had weight, felt like it mattered, and I felt like whatever decision I made for the most part actually paid dividends later. So there you go. There's my take. There's my afterthoughts on this one. So with that, we put the bow on Othercide. I may do another run on stream. We'll see. Maybe. To see if I can get down. I took, 6 recollections to get through? I think I can do better. The one thing I will say about the story is everything definitely felt very pointed, very deliberate. I really feel like somebody was trying to tell their story of getting over some form of abuse by a religious figure. And if you think about it, it makes sense. The first boss you fight is this guy right there. It's the surgeon. He's a cutter. So perhaps the person had suicidal urges. But then you go into a bunch of religious fights, right? You're fighting against the deacon. You're fighting against the maid, who's dressed up like a nun. And then after that, you fight, you have the child, and then you fight suffering itself. It's almost like that you're getting over it. Or the person, whoever wrote the story, is getting over it. Perhaps I'm pontificating too much. Maybe I'm reading a little too deep. Maybe it's not. But it's just kind of funny. Like, you have all of these names of all these daughters. They have names like Miracle, Grace. You know, they also have names like Amy and Belle, you know. But, you know, Charity. And you find yourself saying things like, I'm going to sacrifice desire to boost grace. Take into account that all the missions, the mission select screen looks like a brain with no, they call them synapses. They call them synapses. Take into account you have red and, you know, the main 2 colors are red and white blood cells. Like the body's healing itself. I really think at the end of the day, that's kind of what this game was about. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. Yeah, after bar, when the child is with you and all the battle voiceover, it really makes it seem like you saved him and you were going for suffering. Yep. Othercide is complete. You heard my afterthoughts. I can't emphasize enough, you can't look past the fact that the game is buggy. And some of those bugs are game impacting. You know, in a game where all of your decisions feel weighted, when you have something that's completely unexpected, like a melee from anywhere bug or a rounding error where you suddenly can't move to a spot of safety that you thought was going to be safe, you can't just pretend like that doesn't exist because it's there. You can't. But don't let that detract from the fact that this really is, in my opinion, one of the first games in a long time, maybe even since the genre's namesake. That would be Final Fantasy Tactics and Tactics Advance, frankly. That every decision feels consequential. And you really think through it, and it doesn't feel like a puzzle game. You really feel like if I just reason my way through this, I will get there. It's very good. It's a really good game. It's a solid game. Who knows? Maybe in the future we'll do another one. On stream, that is. Maybe. We'll see. Anyway. In the meantime, I can't emphasize enough, I really enjoyed this game. And what else do you want from me? I recommend it. I recommend it, yes. Despite all of its flaws, and it's got some flaws, I recommend it. There you go. Special thank you to everyone who tuned in on stream. Special thank you to everyone who has watched this playthrough on YouTube. Know this, I am working on improving my graphics card, my graphics quality. I am also working on improving my ISP. Okay? I'm working on it. This was my first playthrough on stream. And I'm going to remember it fondly. All right. That's it for me, y'all. Bye, everybody.